Easy work boxing, about to hit you everywhere but under your feet with this one. This is my video on father trainers and their sons being boxers. This right here is something that should have been stopped a long time ago. It's something that a lot of fighters should not do. I'm gonna go down the list of fighters that have their fathers as their trainer. Floyd Mayweather was one, Roy Jones Jr., Danny Garcia, Miguel Cotto, who else? Chris Eubank, which is one I got to go in on today. Chris Eubank Jr., who else? Shane Mosley. And I think it's a real problem for the fathers to be trainers, because it's like they're living their lives through their sons. I mean, most of these fathers that were trainers were at a certain level in boxing where there wasn't a big name. There wasn't their name wasn't up in lights. And one thing I see is with your father training you, it's hard for the sons to let go of the fathers. And I see that the sons are really losing out by having their fathers in their corner. I mean, like, your father probably could have been a boxer. He could have been a good boxer, but there's certain things that you need to know from that your father didn't teach you. And that's why I think all boxers need a side trainer if you're trained with your father. Your father, he thinks emotionally for you. This your dad, he wants to see the best for you, but also you could be living your father's dream and not yours, And that's why I think like people like Roy Jones and Floyd Mayweather, decided when they got older to separate themselves from their fathers, because they felt like that they were still children. In Chris Eubank's situation, Chris Eubank really needs another trainer. Not to disrespect Chris Eubank Sr. I mean, you go back and you look at his fights, he wasn't that skillful. He was, I give him credit, the man could fight, he'll get in there and he'll do his job, but he wasn't tactical, skillful. You never seen him like really use his brain. He was basically like a brute. You seen him get outclassed by a lot of fighters, who really knew how to box. So I think with him training his son is really a bad idea. I think Chris Eubank should be trained by Floyd Mayweather Sr. Chris Eubank is a powerful puncher, stays in shape, head movement, good jab. Even though he lost this fight, he lost to a good boxer. But I honestly believe that he was to be trained by Floyd Mayweather Sr., Chris Eubank would beat a lot of ass. And also, since I'm talking about father and son trainers, Sean Porter. Sean Porter most definitely needs another trainer. His father thinks that working out wins fights. That don't have shit to do with it. And Keith Thurman showed you that. You can be in shape all goddamn day, but you have to come out and win the fight. You have to be able to land punches, use your jab, which Sean Porter has a good jab, but he has to use that jab, know how to box. Being aggressive don't win fights. He did that shit against Kell Brook. And see, you see what Kell Brook did to him? You see what Keith Thurman did to him? I just don't feel it's necessary to have your father as your trainer. Emotions fly, and past memories, a lot of people don't understand that, or what happened in childhood could affect you till you become a grown man. So a lot of people don't understand why these fighters really don't want their dads in their corner. Sometimes, like I said in the beginning of this video, you really live in the life that they want them to live in boxing. And so, only one of the best trainers I seen train their son was Floyd Mayweather Sr. And Floyd Mayweather gives his dad no credit for real. He always trying to, when you mad at him, he say Roger trainer, but we all know that's a lie. Floyd been fighting since he was goddamn probably 3. Floyd Mayweather could look at an opponent and tell if he could beat you from watching you. That's just how good he is. But I don't really see the point of having a father train. I think it makes situations more bad for the boxer, like the situation with Frank Warren and Chris Eubank. Even Frank Warren is telling them, like, Chris Eubank Jr. needs another trainer because his dad is going to fuck up his career. in which you see his dad is fucking up his career. You know, for one, with the fights, Chris Eubank is getting sent fights that he don't know nothing about. You know, his dad is supposed to be his manager, but he don't even let his son know about certain information that's going on when it's time to fight. He probably been had a contract sent to him for Saunders too, but his father won't let that contract go through. Excuse me, yeah, I'm smoking. You know, I usually don't do this, but I'm sorry. My cousin got shot 6 times Friday night. I'm stressed out. I ain't been making videos, so y'all forgive me, but I'm gonna keep giving y'all what y'all want. But Chris Eubank is a great fighter to me. He should leave his dad. Sean Porter is a good fighter to me. He should leave his dad. Danny Garcia will be a all-time great Puerto Rican boxer if he was to leave his father. And I'm not saying Angel Garcia is bad for him. His son is good for him. I mean, his father is good for Danny Garcia because his father speaks he's Danny's mouth. He promotes Danny's fights. And you know, that's one good thing I like about Angel Garcia. But at the same time, Angel Garcia, if I'm mistaken, has never really boxed. And I feel like with Danny's power and Danny's chin, if Danny had a legit trainer, Danny would be hell on any opponent. The Keith Thurman and Sean, which I'm a fan of Keith Thurman. That fight probably wouldn't have went the way it went if Danny had a legitimate trainer, and I mean a trainer who's been in the ring. I don't like trainers who's never been in the ring. Just like I don't like pastors who've never been through anything. A 24-year-old pastor could tell me nothing. He couldn't tell me shit. You see what I'm saying? You have to go through experience. Somebody who's been in the ring, who's took a punch, who's been down before, what he was thinking when he was about to get up. These are the trainers that you need in boxing. You know, all respect to Virgil Hunter. He's never fought in a fight, but he's a good trainer. And I'm not disrespecting any trainer that's never been in a fight. But all I'm saying is, if I was to be trained, if my son was to be trained, a family member, I would want someone who's been in that ring before and who experienced everything. So, you know, this is my video just on the father and son trainer. You know, this is something that I feel shouldn't happen in boxing. I feel like a father could bring their child up, but as a father, mentally, you should know that, hey, I've never been in the ring, or hey, I wasn't a champion on an elite level. I should get my son an elite trainer to make sure he's on an elite level. And if they're not doing that, then that's a form of selfishness to me, or they want to be known as a great trainer of their son's ability. Because if you want your son to be great, true enough, you train him to a certain point, but send him to someone who's better than you. And, you know, that's all I had to say in this video. You know, I just think father and son trainers don't mix. It shouldn't happen. And thank you. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for your time.